Life from non-life. So one of the most fundamental questions that I'm sure you've asked, I've asked it in my life is, how did life begin, right? Where did life come from? And before we can start talking about evolution or biology or even morality for that matter, we have to ask, how did life begin? So let me tell you and just spell you out from the beginning, the truth. The truth is, life does not come from non-life. Look around you in nature, look around you in the world. Life doesn't come from non-life. We always need life in order to produce life. It never has come from non-life, and it never will. We've known this for centuries. Louis Pasteur, he demonstrated this scientifically. That's a word that a lot of atheists like to use, science, right? Scientifically. They think that Christianity is opposed to science. Absolutely not. It works seamlessly hand in hand. Life only comes from life. And yet, naturalistic atheism, which is rampant, insists that at some point in the distant past, life just popped into existence from non living chemicals. That's not science. That's blind faith. People say it takes faith to be a Christian. It takes faith to believe that life comes from non life to the contrary, right? Look around you. Think about it. If I told you, let's put it in perspective. Let me give you an analogy. If I told you that a book, I spilled ink on a paper, actually, not even a book, let's say a sentence. If I spilled ink on a paper and it wrote a sentence, and I said, yep, I just spilled ink and this perfectly formed sentence appeared, you'd laugh at me, right? You think I was crazy because we know that information requires intelligence. Every living cell inside of our bodies is packed with information, a genetic code that's more complex than all the books in your local library. Take the most single, simple cell amoeba that we have, it has the same equivalent of information packed into its cell as 1,000 Encyclopedia Britannicas. That code doesn't just write itself. It points beyond matter. It points to a mind. Even atheist scientists, they have to admit that they don't know how life comes from non-life. Richard Dawkins, you might have heard that name, famous. He himself speculated that maybe, well, to solve this issue, right? Where did it come from? Well, maybe aliens seeded life everywhere on the earth. I mean, as you know, as kind of crazy as that is, that just pushes the question back. Where did the aliens come from? How did they get life, right? No, the most reasonable explanation is usually the most obvious one. And in this case, it is the most obvious one. Life comes from a living creator. And let me remind you what Jesus said. He said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. He doesn't just give life, he is life himself. The fact that we're here, we're breathing, we're conscious, we can be moral, we're rational beings, that's evidence that the source of all life is not impersonal matter. It's not just chemicals, it's a personal God. So the next time someone says, we don't need life, I mean, we don't need God to explain life, ask them this question. Then how do you get life from non-life? How do you get intelligence from non-intelligence? How do you get information without a mind? The answer is you don't. Life is one of the clearest signposts pointing straight to the author of life, God Himself. All right. So wanted to put that in perspective for you today. I know a lot of people maybe haven't thought about it in that context. Think about it. You'll see, like I said, the most reasonable explanation is the most obvious one. So God bless. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back next time. Bye.